And we're back on the program. It's Gerald coming right back at you right here at the Pop Culture Cosmos on PCC Multiverse 200. We're back with the show. It's Gerald Glassford coming right back at you here. It's the Animaniacs on Hulu. They have returned. They have been revived. And I know we talked about this on a previous episode in anticipation for them to come back, but season 1 has already dropped on Hulu. And here today to talk about his thoughts on it, because it's getting mixed reaction along the internet and also as well with critics all over as far as some have liked it, some have that it's seen better. So here today to talk about the Animaniacs coming back to the world of streaming and Hulu after their run on the CW and all that way, and the WB all the way back. Is a good man indeed. You got to catch what he's doing at Honey Queen and also the Honey Galcast. It is my good friend indeed. The guy who saved our butts last week, sitting in the big chair, it is none other than Noah Ian Fein. And Noah, I'm going to say this right now to you and your family, the best of holiday seasons. I know we're recording this just before Thanksgiving, so I wish you safety, wish you happiness, and I wish you also an awesome Thanksgiving.
Same to you, sir. As for Animaniacs, yes, it's going to be an ongoing debate. This is a revival. And I'll answer your questions very quickly. 80% of me enjoys this revival, 20% does not. It is definitely worth a Hulu subscription. And not only are you getting the new Animaniacs, but also the Hulu subscription, you're getting old school Animaniacs if you don't like the revival, and you're also getting the Pinky the Brain series as well as Tiny Toons. It's not a bad deal. The 80% of Animaniacs, the revival, I should say, is what I enjoy is that they were reanimated by Spielberg. So they never went away. They never said how they left, but for 20 plus years they were just gone. And the tower was abandoned, and now they're just going back. Spielberg decided to reanimate them in the back. And the problem is that they don't know what's happened in 22 years. So they have these 2-part episodes in the first... the segments in the first episode that there's a new CEO, and Wacko, Yakko, and Dot go to the tower. They clean things up. They take a tablet, which is a tablet computer, and they pretty much sing a song about catching up of what they missed in 22 years that they weren't on the air, which is not bad. It's not a bad song because Animaniacs is known for their songs. So right then and there, it was worth it. As for not bringing back the other characters, as a 20% I'm not enjoying because we don't have reruns and we don't have Buttons and Mindy, and we don't have the Good Feathers. And again, I know that what was great about the original Animaniacs, it was Looney Tunes for the 90s, that you had a mixture of different characters. And it was also great that they were little extra on time. They would do these little segments like Wheel of Morality, or they would have Mr. Skullhead and Good Idea, Bad Idea. But unfortunately, the 20%, again, that doesn't like this, that Warner Brothers decided not to bring back Tom Roger, who was the original creator as well as producer of the series. Warner Brothers brought in a whole new bunch of talent, one of them being a former writer of Family Guy. Not a bad thing, actually, because the writing is a mixed bag. I don't mind it so much because it still feels like old school Animaniacs in a way where they're still sarcastic. It's still for both the teen crowd and the college and adult level crowd, the way that the original Animaniacs turned out to be. Because originally it was supposed to be a kid's show, but the writing became so sarcastic that it became for the older crowd. That's why old school Animaniacs and new school still holds up. That was the whole point. That's why we got Freakazoid as well. And Spielberg, of course, as executive producer, was okay with this. The problem is that when you just have Yakko, Wacko, and Dot and Pinky and the Brain, which I have nothing against, they can only carry this. I mean, Pinky and the Brain had their own series for 3 years. They could carry their own series if they wanted to, and people have been clamoring for them to come back. I have nothing against Pinky and the Brain. It's also a revival for them as well. They're back in Acme Labs. They're still trying to take over the world. Brain is a little angrier than he was the last time we saw him, because in 1997, 1998, he wanted to take over the world but make it for a better place. He seems to be back about wanting complete and total domination. And Pinky is still Pinky. He's still with the Cockney accent, and he's still playing off of Brain. He still has his heart of gold. I wouldn't so much say stupidity, but he's got, he's Pinky. They also brought in a couple new characters that I'll get into in a little bit, but the biggest con as well, I feel, is the animation, because it's cleaned up internet flash animation in a way that I feel. And for the squashing and stretching of characters and for their expressiveness, it worked better with hand-drawn animation. That's what I really enjoy growing up and watching. When you try to do it with this type of animation, it's really freaky. Doesn't bother me, but there's an episode where you have the Warner brothers and sister going up against Pennywise the Clown. And it's the Bill Skarsgård from the 2017-19 versions of It. So Bill Skarsgård is known for doing things with his eyes that, crossing them over, and he can do this. And Wacko tries to imitate Pennywise, and the problem is that when it's done up close, it may freak out any kid under 7. There's another moment where Pinky and the Brain are also they're having these maniacal laughs. And there's also new characters running too that has a nervous breakdown of the Brain's mind control, and it's really disturbing with this type of animation. Because again, with the original animation, it was done with multiple studios in Japan and South Korea. Here, it's only one company, and unfortunately, it just is not jiving as much as I was hoping it would be. One other thing to spoil as well is that what happened to all the other characters. It's already been discussed. There's an episode where they were supposedly killed off with the exception of Chicken Boo, and it turns out that Chicken Boo was upset he's not back for the revival, so he's killed off all the other characters. He's going to kill off Wacko, Yakko, and Dun, and Pinky and the Brain, but it turns out that at the end of the episode, all the other characters are alive. They're non-speaking roles, and they're chasing off Chicken Boo. Fans were confused. They finally got some behind-the-scenes drama that Tom Ruger is upset that he could not come back, that Warner Brothers are going another direction, that the new creators didn't like the old characters. It's confusing, and it's bothering fans. I think that's why it's getting so many mixed reviews. I have nothing, again, not to be repetitious, I have nothing against these 5 characters. It's only so much that they can carry a variety show. And if Pinky and the Brain had their own show again, I wouldn't complain. But I just feel that, unfortunately, they do their 7 to 11 minute shtick, and then they have 5 minutes left over, and they're just like continuing to beat a dead horse. But is this series rewatchable? Yes. Is there going to be a second season? Yeah. And would I prefer a couple more for this series, for this revival? Yeah. I would say maybe another 2 or 3. But there really has to be a lot of changes. And I think the biggest one will be the animation and bringing back, not all, and I understand why some can't come back, but bringing back some of them to make it a variety again. The songs, as I said, not to be repetitious, are awesome. They have a rap battle, and it's not like the 1990s rap. This is like a 21st century rap battle that you have the Warner Brothers going against a Jay-Z type of character. And they play it almost like 8 Mile. And I was afraid they were going to regurgitate on an older episode where they battled William Shatner in a karaoke fight. But no, one has nothing to do with the other. They're not regurgitating on the first season. They're still breaking the fourth wall. They're still talking about the first season now and then. But they are trying to move forward. And I appreciate that aspect. So I understand why some people are complaining. They think that this show has become woke, but I feel that in a roundabout way, it was kind of woke and politically correct before that became a bigger thing. So it's still. I mean, back then and now, I've always found it to be a B rating. I've never laughed out loud so much with the old school, even with this one, but it's enjoyable. And
And
I
go ahead.
yeah, and I feel that because it's enjoyable for me. Again, I said what I in the beginning. I'll say now, it's worth the subscription. It's worth your time. It's worth the rewatchability. The rest is really going to be, unfortunately, if you're really having the nostalgic glasses or the nostalgic goggles, I think that's what's going to throw off your opinion on this. And that's going to be a giant issue because, again, it's still a kid's cartoon with surprisingly humor that's going over a little kid's head. That's your decision on how you feel about the then and now.
Well, we'll find out more about how successful it was for Hulu in the coming weeks and months. Disney will probably let that slip out, and then we'll see if it gets renewal. Although I'm sure if Steven Spielberg's behind it, you're not going to go ahead unless it's a total flop and not guarantee at least another season of Animaniacs. So I think another season of Animaniacs is a pretty safe bet to come along the way. So I'm think a lot of people are looking forward to catching this. I know the critics are out there that have been kind of on the fence about it, but it's good to hear some good positive words again from you, Noah, in regards to this. And I just truly appreciate you taking the time to speaking today about the first season of Animaniacs. And again, my friend, I wish you and everyone out there all the best as far as it's concerned. But before we head on out, please give us a shot on exactly what you're doing and what you're saying and what you're talking about at Hunniqueen on Facebook.
Right now, I'm just sharing a lot of podcasts. I'm doing some vlogs here and there. My podcast should be coming out of retirement. I know you talked about The Undertaker a while ago, so, never say never. So I should be back in January with my stuff. Until then, I'm just doing a lot of guesting and a lot of critiques. So on Facebook, on Hunniqueen, posting and sharing your stuff, as well as some other things, and we'll just go from there. But again, thank you for letting me rant about probably one of the most underrated Spielberg cartoons ever.
And I appreciate everything that you've done for us and all the support that you've given us. And we truly thank for everything. And we truly thank you for everything that you've done for us right here at the Pop Culture.